This is not your typical Football Manager rebuild. This is full realism. I'm rebuilding Newcastle United in FM24 using Eddie Howe's latest real-life tactics, the club's actual signings, and only bringing in players you genuinely expect to wear black and white. But it's not all glory. Sean Longstaff is gone, Lloyd Kelly out, and yes, Isaac has asked to leave, and we're letting him go. Our star new signing? Anthony Elanga, young, explosive and hungry. This is going to be Newcastle rebuilt in full realism. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and if you want to see me do these live, it's going to be in the description. You can find me on Twitch. Let's get into it. So then, we are back with a Newcastle rebuild, and it's a good time to do one because we are going to be seeing some players leaving. Sean Longstaff to Leeds United. Obviously, bit old news, but Minter obviously went to Brighton, and Isaac has asked to leave, and today we are going to make that happen and try and sign his replacement. Now, as a team, on paper, they still are going to have a great 11. There is no secret to that. In the game, the finances are secure, we know that already. The owners absolutely love the club. The reputation is fantastic. The training facilities are also relatively good. Youth facilities and youth recruitment also are not going to fall far behind. Overall, they're a massive club who have come on an absolute ton in the last 2 or 3 years since that takeover. Now, one thing, we are predicted to finish in 4th place. This season, number 1, is going to be ridiculously hard. I'm going to explain shortly why. Now, as a club, let's not forget, 4 Premier League titles, 1 Europa League, 6 FA Cups, 4 Sky Bet Championships, 1 Carabao Cup, 1 English Community Shield, 1 Anglo-Italian Cup. The up arrow is going through the roof. This club is on a major rise, and if I let them down, I'm going to let the entire club down. I can't afford to let that happen. Money-wise, there is no surprise to you that there is a little bit of debt going on, but with the owners we have, I'm not going to sweat because they'll take care of it. That's pretty straightforward. Now, in the first season, we are playing in 4 competitions. The Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and also that Carabao Cup. Now, the aim of this video is to essentially win every single trophy at a bare minimum once, until I can sit back and say, I've rebuilt Newcastle using players that I think will come to the club, or in a few years the options could be there. And also, we've won every single trophy, and the main one for me is this Premier League. Now, of course, predicted to finish in 4th place, or actually 3rd place, should I say. But Season 1, I do believe, is going to be trickier, because we are transfer listing Isaac. He's publicly said he wants to leave. I've transfer listed him and also accepted any offers that I get, purely to help the realism factor. Now, this might come at a very awkward time for me, because when I go on holiday, I am going to tick the box to sell all transfer listed players, meaning he will be sold. So I'm going to have to come back and check in January, and if he is gone, we might not even have a striker to play. So this first season could go pretty bitter. I'm going to make that very, very clear now. To lose a player like Isaac is an absolute pain. It is. He's a great player, but I can see why he would be attracted by Liverpool, a team like that with a real good sort of trajectory to go up and win as many trophies as possible, and I think he would absolutely cook in that team. Let me know in the comments where you think he is going to go, though. Very curious to hear what you think about that. We are also going to transfer list Trippier. Now, this is a mixture of me saying that he won't stay there in real life, and also he's 34. I don't really want him in my team for more than 1 season. So those are the 2 players that are getting transfer listed right off the bat. The big one, the incoming player. The big player is Anthony Elanga. This guy was sensational last season, in my opinion. Deserved the move, obviously, at United. Whether you say he didn't get the right chance, whether you say he was mistreated, or he didn't perform well, he is now playing very well in the Premier League, and he still left United at a good age. He's still only 23, so he has got years in the tank. Now, the sad thing, in this game, he's not brilliant. I'm going to say it. He's only got pace, to be honest with you, and I'm not going to lock him in because he's not technically a wonder kid. So he will fight for his position, and I hope that we can see a very, very, very good side of Elanga in this game. But if you don't see him at the top of the goal-scoring ranks, he's been done dirty in this game, in my opinion. So the other thing, I mean, I don't know why I didn't talk about this first, the tactic. Even the main channel has not seen this tactic. This is a privately curated tactic for this rebuild only. It will be in a video next week on the main channel, but make sure you are going over to the Patreon to get this tactic and this save file before everybody else. You get all of these perks as well, and this is a full realism Eddie Howe tactic. So we are playing in the traditional 4-3-3. This analysis was actually based off their pre-season game. So this is going to be very, very accurate of recent times. Now, if you're watching this video when the Premier League season started and it's changed something, that is why, just to make that very, very clear. Essentially, it's a bog standard 4-3-3 with a bit of a higher tempo, focusing down the left and the right, as he tends to do in real life, work the ball into the box, nice short passing play, in transition, very direct on the counter, and of course it has to have the higher line, being an Eddie Howe tactic. So very, very curious to how well this tactic performs. I've not tested it. This is the first test I've ever done with it, because it's full realism. So whether it wins every game or doesn't, this is how he plays. I've got to build a team around it. And at the end of the day, we have got a good team. Now, if we remove Isaac from that team, you can see we don't have another striker. So if he does go, I've got to make sure we go out of holiday, go and sign a replacement that, to be honest with you, it's quite common sense, would be this guy, Benjamin Sesko. He is very heavily linked there in real life. He will probably leave Leipzig anyway, and I'm not saying he's as good as Isaac, but players that are available on the market now, and obviously Gyökeres has gone to Arsenal, he was probably going to be your best bet. We also would end up having Livramento at right back, which I am fine with. I'm also fine with this midfield of Joelinton, Tonali, Bruno. Absolutely world class. The centre backs definitely need improving, and again they've been linked with multiple centre backs from the Portuguese league, so you can expect to see some of them come in. We need a younger left back as well, and we're just going to go out and sign people that have either been linked with on social media or people that I think one day there's no reason that they couldn't wear the Newcastle shirt. Now, as the years go on, of course the signings are going to become more bold because we don't know the future. So if we end up in a season 5-6 scenario, you might see a bit more wild signings coming in, because by then I expect Newcastle in real life to have won something quite big, so they can attract them big players. So let's get into season 1. Well, let's just say the drama happened, and you couldn't write it because I did not even use the editor to make this happen. Isaac is going to go to Liverpool for a total of £42 million. Now, the fee would be significantly more in real life, but I wanted to get rid of him purely to make it realistic, and he goes there pretty much from the start. I mean, he plays 30 games for them, 14 goals and also 3 assists. Losing this guy definitely had an impact on the season, but I mean, we knew he was going to go, you know what I mean? So this is actually this wasn't even middle of the season. This would have been probably, I imagine, a couple of weeks into it. He also managed to actually loan out Trippier. Now, this was not the aim, but when you do have people just, accept any deal, then this can be what happens. So he goes to Barcelona on loan, actually plays quite well, but again, we did not have him for the entire season, as he played 36 games over in Spain. But we did just about in time, were able to sign Sesko. Now, he cost me £83 million, to make that very clear. He scored 11 goals in 18 games, and for any Newcastle fans that might be watching, maybe this is a positive sign, because if he come to your club and done that, you wouldn't be missing Isaac as much as what, if it doesn't work out with another man. I genuinely think Sesko would be a perfect fit for Newcastle. I feel like he would suit the Premier League quite well. Now, obviously, in this game, he is one of the best strikers you can physically sign. He's got the physical attributes. He's very good technically, very good mentally as well. Fantastic, sorry about that, when it comes to the fact he is 22. He's got tons of potential in the tank. So this striker is going to be our main man going forward. So let's just see what we've done in Season 1. I'm not going to lie, when we lost Isaac, we went into a bit of a dip. So definitely need to improve the results. Despite not having the strongest first season, we are still going to make it to a cup final, and this is going to be against Arsenal. Now, sadly, the FA Cup is essentially Arsenal's competition. I won it with them on my live stream, so I know all about Arsenal winning stuff. This trophy has their name printed into it, and they're going to lead this 2-0 in 34 minutes. The only small factor of this game that was quite nice to see is a consolation goal that is going to be scored, none other from the new man. That man, Benjamin Sesko, but inevitably it's a loss. As we also go on to become runners-up in the Europa League. This season was literally the almost season. It could have been our season, but it just wasn't. Now, it's positive to see that Benjamin Sesko done well, Anthony Gordon done well, Tonali done well. That's really cool to see. And I mean, to get to this final, we've done quite well to beat Villa 5-3. Quarterfinals, 3-0 over Benfica. They're not an easy team to dispatch by any means. Round of 16, a bit easier of a game against Freiburg. And I mean, as for the actual, if we look at the group stages, for example, I imagine we did do quite well. I can't even see us in there. I think we were probably, did we go through to the playoffs? Where would we have actually been in? Not entirely sure. Someone let me know in the comments if I've misdone that. There we go, the knockout playoff rounds. Wow, okay. So we featured in there. So we also had to beat Roma, so that's that mystery solved. So definitely would have been better to obviously lift that trophy. But I mean, for a season one, is that acceptable? I still don't know if that is acceptable, but I'm not going to judge myself yet. Now, this is going to explain it, because if we actually look at the groups, we were in the Champions League, of course we were, and we were in Group D, and we failed to get out of a group that features PSV, Villarreal, and also Salzburg, so a really poor performance in the Champions League, which is why we got pushed down to Europa. Though, I mean, that is a really poor display, but I'm going to blame a bit of it on the Isaac departure. You know, it's a big man to lose. Carabao Cup didn't go as well. Sadly, Arsenal again are going to beat us 2-1 again, this time in the third round. And as for the Premier League, we are going to qualify inside of 6th place. Now, a bit disappointing because it's not Champions League football, but it is a brand new tactic that, you know, I do need to tweak and mould. And also, we are literally replacing Isaac with Sesko, who has done very well, but is going to need time to get used to the team. I am very confident in saying that this hopefully will be our worst season. Because from this point onwards, I know what players that I've got, I know what players that I can keep, and we are going to strengthen season by season. But I mean, for season one, it's not great because we've not won a single trophy. If we would have won a cheeky little FA Cup in there or something, this season would have been easier to accept. But the positive about it is we are going to have money, I can guarantee. We've got £240 million to go and spend. We've got a tactic now that I know what happens. I know what to expect from this tactic. And to be fair, we didn't perform that badly. If we look at it, we're the third best at scoring. Just defensively, we're not the best. So I think centre-backs are going to be the key priority here, because the likes of Botman is absolutely fantastic, but the likes of Schlar, I mean, I don't really like him too much. He's 34, he's slow, he's going downhill rapidly, and on the bench you have got Dan Burn and Lascelles, who are definitely now replaceable players. But as a team perspective, I mean, Target done fantastic. 12 assists, good amount of goals from the centre-backs, I will say. You've got Tonali 10 and 26, Joelinton 27 and 10. This guy here is the definition of passion. What a player he is in real life. You've got Gordon with 30 goal contributions, Barnes 10 and 8. You've got Alanga. Where is Alanga? 1 and 6. Now, this man wasn't locked in, and he played 26 games still, but just didn't really get fully running with the stat lines. Sesko did 26 and 2. Ridiculous season from him. But looking down the players, we're going to have Joelinton unhappy. Not happy with the champion, you know, a few people won't be happy. Harvey Barnes is wanted by West Ham. Kraft is wanted by Bournemouth and Wolves. He could actually probably go. Not getting Champions League is going to be tough to keep players at the club and to attract top players. Luckily for us, a lot of the players with shorter contracts I could happily wave goodbye to. I could wave goodbye to the likes of Mark, Nick, Martin de Brugge, Kraft, Schär, Lascelles, Isaac Hayden, Joe Willock. Maybe not Joe Willock, I like Joe Willock, but there's a lot of players in this team that I could actually wave goodbye to and replace, and I think in full realism as well, they're not going to keep people that are 34, 37, 34 around for too much longer. So even if I do sell those players, I think it does keep me in the full realism mode. So let's go into our first official window. Like I said, I know it's not the best season, but now we know where we stand. No Isaac, Trippier's probably going to be going as well. We know the system, we know the strengths, we know the weaknesses. Now we start the rebuild. But we are going to have one outgoing, in terms of an actual paid outgoing is going to be Garang Kuel. He is going to go to Besiktas for £3 million. We spent 300k on him. Just with this small rebuild that I'm doing, he's not going to get game time now. He actually doesn't look too bad, but just because of the options we have got, he ain't going to get anywhere near our team. Trippier is going to go on the free to Barcelona. I can see him going on the free in real life. Maybe not to Barcelona, probably not at all, but we are going to offload him. Again, I think it is realistic. Again, I can't control what club he goes to, unless I was to use the editor, which I don't really want to do. So I am going to let him go. Obviously, he had a great time on loan, a very good player, but he is now approaching 37. As we also wave goodbye to Fabian Schär, there are going to be a few people going on the free. You saw the contract situation. I wasn't going to offer them a new contract. I transfer listed all of them. No clubs actually wanted to pay a single penny for him, so he goes to Milan on the free and actually stays fit to play a lot of the games. So nothing against him. Again, I'm just trying to bring the age down, which is why I also wave goodbye to Kraft, because simply we don't need him. He is going to go to Wolves on the free. Again, a player that holds virtually no value and offers virtually nothing to the club anymore, in my opinion. And the last big talking point is De Bruyne. Again, not even a bad goalkeeper in real life, and maybe if he would have accepted a less sort of demanding contract, he could have stayed at the club, but he goes on the free to the Slovakian league, so all the best for him, but at the end of the day, we simply don't need him. Not any longer. Now, this window is dedicated to sorting out the back line, because I've looked at the attacking options, we're fine. I've looked at the midfield, we're fine. So I've signed 3 defenders. Now, Valentin Barco is a player that I think will one day want to be part of a very, very competitive Premier League team. And at some point, Newcastle need a good, attractive young left-back, and that is exactly what Valentin Barco is. Now, he comes in and plays 34 games, scores a couple of goals, picks up 5 assists, a very good average rating, and for £39 million, for a player that's 23, can deliver a ball, got decent defending in this save anyway. I mean, usually he's a little bit less off, but he's developed quite well. I mean, I think this is a perfect fit. I genuinely do. Yes, I know his time at Brighton, but Newcastle are a real top project. He's a player that I think will become a really good option, and in the game he's fantastic. So there's multiple reasons to sign him. Very good mentally as well, and he is going to be easily our star left back. Heavily linked to this man in real life from last season and the start of this season, Antonio Silva is going to come in. A player that of course plays for a top team in Portugal, but the Premier League attraction's real. One day he will most likely want to come to the Premier League. Chelsea win for this guy as well, but there's no reason for me why Newcastle can't go and get him, especially if they carry on in this Champions League running. Now, if we go and look at Antonio Silva's price tag, £48 million. Now, he drops a 7 average rating, 38 appearances, so the guy stays fit for the entire season. His impact in the league was significantly better than the Cups, I will be honest, but he is a rock-solid centre-back, and he is just 50% of our new centre-back pairing. Can you guess who we've gone and got? That's going to be Scalvini. Now, despite Atalanta having a bit of European success in the last few years, I do think one time, maybe I don't know what season, but this man is going to want to step up. Now, you can sit here and argue with me that maybe he will stay in Italy, that go to a stronger team. Here's another player that I think will come to the Premier League, and he was expensive. It was 77 million, and he only plays 8 games. Now, he was registered. I don't know why he only played 8 games, but this is a man that I will lock in, because I've gone out and signed him personally. Now, to have him and Silva at the back is an absolute dream, and the back line is now fantastic. We've got Pope, Barco, Silva, Scalvini, Livramento. That's a Premier League winning quality backline, in my opinion. So that window, I'll say it, is perfect. Clearly is perfect, because we come out and we nearly win the Premier League in Season 2. We finish in 2nd place, so we've got Champions League football right again. Everton have done a madness this season. They've got top 4. Who's their manager? Ralph, of course. How is that even possible? Fair play to Everton regardless, but the main talking point, Benjamin Sesko, 2 goals off the top goal scoring rank. We are also going to see Nick Pope in there, but the main attraction, Benjamin Sesko, really getting used to the Premier League and nearly becoming the Premier League top goal scorer. I mean, outscoring Isaac, funny enough, which is really nice to see. That is a massive improvement. Champions League football? Tick. We're off to Bilbao for the Europa League final, and I tell you what, we got off to a blistering start. A very iffy goal to be scored there, but Joelinton is never going to miss that header. A 1-0 lead inside of 46 minutes, and we're going to go again here with Gordon on the ball, waiting for the overlap. He finally gets it from Harvey Barnes. Little ball back into Joelinton, and we're going to lead 2-0. And as it stands, we would have got Champions League football regardless of the Premier League finish, because we are most likely going to win the Europa League. And as a little spoiler alert, we do win the Europa League, because all they could do was get a cheap, pointless consolation. The FA Cup didn't go as sweet as Liverpool are going to beat us. No doubt that would have been a goal from Isaac, now on my luck. But so far, so good this season, as we have got a chance to win 2 trophies this season, the Carabao Cup final against Palace, and it is going to be Botman making it 1-0 inside of 23 minutes. They do get a penalty in the 80th minute to equalise, so the game wasn't really too attractive past that point until now. And this is where we started to liven up, right towards the end, where Gordon makes it 2-1, and there is going to be time for another goal from another set piece, and we're going to lift the Carabao Cup from a Sesko header 3-1, which does complete a very, very, very good season. Second place in the Premier League, Champions League secured, Europa League win, Carabao Cup win, and semi-finalist of the FA Cup. So this season compared to season 1 is so much better, and it's because we now have a team that has got a bit of my influence in, and also I know the players that I've got. So Sesko improves ridiculously well. Give him a whole season, 61-7. Harvey Barnes 16-9. Gordon 12-19. Joelinton 17-14. Tonali 9-20. Bruno 2-7. Barco 5-8, Livramento 1-7, 5-3 for Willock, a man that I've not even talked about, who is enjoying a good sort of rotation role in the team. You've got Alanga 5-6, that's not bad to be honest with you. 1-7 for Murphy, 5-4 for Lewis Miley, 3 from Lewis Hall. We have got a whole team effort here being put together as a collective, and I mean money-wise, we are going to have a very friendly budget of £313 million. The debts and loans are pretty much clear, and we can go and spend again. We currently rank best when it comes to scoring, but we are still 6th best when it comes to the conceding factor. And I'm starting to think maybe a new goalkeeper is needed, maybe a young goalkeeper from a smaller team. That would be a realistic signing, someone that would be attracted by the Newcastle project, maybe some better backup centre-backs. Who knows? The options are going to be endless, but I will say this right now, I'm super happy with the current team. It's going to be time to wave goodbye to another long-serving centre-back, and that is going to be Jamal Lascelles. Now, he has been at Newcastle for years, hasn't he? I mean, a little loan spell there at Forest from the team that he come from in the first place, but he is now getting old. He remains in the Premier League, which is really nice to see, but he is now 34 and simply isn't good enough. A lot to talk about, and a player they've been linked with in real life. For us, he will be nothing more than a backup. That is going to be Delan Bakwa, coming in from Strasbourg. He actually impresses me quite a lot, to be honest. 8 appearances, a lot of them as substitutions as well. Chips in with a goal and a couple of assists. He isn't the most expensive player, also quite cheap to have at the club. He actually looks really good, and with a lower league team, he'd be one of the star players, but with the wingers we have got, he won't get a lot of first team football, but because of the links in real life, I'll make it happen. We have got our goalkeeper. Now, Restes is a goalkeeper that I think not only Newcastle could attract, but a lot of teams could attract, because he's playing for a decent team in Toulouse. But if he gets an offer from a Premier League team, of course there's going to be a chance to accept it. So I mean, this guy is going to come in for £36.5 million. He keeps 21 clean sheets and drops a fantastic average rating. And I mean, looking at him on paper, he already is a very well pre-built goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong, but this guy is quite scary because he can grow to double this quality, and at this club, he's going to have the chance to do it. So now, Nick Pope, off to the bench. Next up is going to be Luca Bayer. Every Leipzig man does get poached by a top Premier League team, it seems, or FC Bayern. Now, this guy is going to come in. You've got to bear in mind, we're now 3 years into the future. So now when we're talking about realism, we're talking about, would it be realistic for Luca Bayer to want to, be moved on with 3 more years at Leipzig? Potentially, yes. I'd say definitely yes. 3 years more of Newcastle progression in real life, they're going to have more pull most likely. So Luca Bayer is going to come in and he drops a fantastic set of stats in return. I mean, this guy not only improves our back line, he makes it technically world class in my opinion. Now, the addition of him and Luca Bayer and also Restes, that French connection, we have got a ridiculous pairing here. The back line can now feature Luca Bayer, Scalvini, Silva, Scalvini, Silva, Luca Bayer. The rotation is unbelievable. And to carry on that pattern, welcome in Singo. This is going to be a very, very good, initially a backup, but he comes in to be competitive with Livramento. He plays 33 games, drops a 7.25 rating, and picks up 4 assists. Again, a man at Monaco who will eventually move on, 27 years of age. This is the time for him to get a big move. And Newcastle is that club for him. And I can tell you this right now, this player in the Premier League, I think, would be fantastic. He's got the physical side, he can put a ball in, he's got the tackling, he's got the strength, he's got the determination and the grit. And I'm more than happy to have him. And lastly, a man that has been toying with leaving Real Madrid, because I'll be honest, I think he's disrespected. And at the end of the day, we factor in a 3-year span. If that carries on, he probably would have already have left. But Newcastle, why can't they be in for that run-in? If Newcastle start winning the Premier League, then who knows what can happen. Now, this guy was linked with Liverpool. He was linked with City, obviously linked with United. Everybody is. But he potentially could go to Newcastle. Genuinely, if that disrespect carries on at Madrid, because I'm going to be honest, when you speak to most people about Madrid, he's one of the last names that gets mentioned when they think of attacking players, and your Bellinghams and all of them sorts of names. So we bring him in for 75 million, he cooks. 28 goal contributions in 38 Premier League games. So I mean, this guy and the rest of the signings, I believe we can now not only be competitive for a Premier League, I think we should now be winning the Premier League, because we have strengthened this team tenfold. And that's exactly what we done, and we done it in serious fashion. I mean, that is a ridiculous season. We only lose 5 games. We've got Sesko with 18 goals, Rodrigo with 17. We've got Tonali and Rodrigo 13 and 11 with the assists. Our brand new goalkeeper instantly to the top with the clean sheets, and this makes up for a fantastic game. And Man City are no bad team that we're competing with. They've got Pep in charge, they've got Haaland, Musiala, Elise, Valverde, Silva, Rodri and Nacio. You know, they've strengthened as well, so we have to spend this money to be competitive. And that's what we've done. We also win the European South American Club Cup Challenge. I always butcher that. Again, a trophy that I rarely give credit to winning, but I'm going to factor it in because it is a trophy. Champions League is going to be a bit of a early exit, and a team in Real Hispalis that I'm quite disappointed we lose to, because the league phase we actually done quite well. 6 wins against some pretty easier teams, and actually the 2 games that were challenging we lose. So the league phase looks attractive, but actually really wasn't. But that being put to one side, our first real test, we don't even get past. Our first chance to win that Super Cup, of course, after winning Europa League, Barcelona are going to beat us from a goal from Marcus Thuram, which I will say is a very interesting signing. The FA Cup's got a sting, because I do feel like we could take on Arsenal in the final now. Now we've got a better team, but we lose in added time to Wolves. And we are off to the Carabao Cup final against Man City, and I tell you what, these are 2 of Europe's best teams going head-to-head right now in this save, and they're going to get the upper hand inside of a minute with a wonder goal from Rodri. But we are just as good as them, I'm going to say it. And with that press from Joelinton, who actually was playing up front this game, gets the goal in the 7th minute, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, the rest of the game was boring. We're going all the way to penalties right now, and it is going to be Haaland stepping up first against Restes, and that's why you spend the money. Haaland misses, and now it is down to Valentin Barco to capitalise, which he does, into the bottom right hand corner. Bernardo Silva, very good from the spot usually, and is there as well. A good penalty into the bottom right hand corner. Antonio Silva, very just about, I will say, puts it into the bottom left. Elise steps rocket of a penalty into the top right. Tonali is going to step up and slots it into the left hand side. So far, perfect penalties from us. Inacio steps rockets into the top right hand corner. Alanga, big moment, big goal into the bottom left hand corner. And I can tell you what now, this penalty is incredibly important, and it goes in. Doku is going to score. John Stones, if he misses, which he does, we're going to be winners. We'll take it. And that is going to be Carabao Cup winners, European South American Club Challenge winners, and Premier League winners. So already a massive trophy ticked off. And I can tell you what, if we go into the Premier League, look at the past winners, look at that clear progression. That is runners-up, now we win. And I'm going to have another season, 100%, because I want to try and win the Champions League as well. And we're going to try and link it all in together with one more transfer window, because I think we are genuinely close. I mean, money-wise, it's not going to be an issue. We've got £280 million, a little bit of net debt and transfer debt, but with our owners, that will get swept under the rug. Let's just be realistic. This team on paper can go toe-to-toe with any single team, but there are still areas that can be improved. Joelinton's fantastic, but there are probably better players technically than him right now in the save, who we are going to go and try and sign. So I'm going to dump a little bit of money into midfield, maybe pick up that real world-class winger. You know, we've got Rodrigo. Gordon's brilliant, had a great season, but can we get like that, you know, Kvaratskhelia? Can we get, probably not him, it's a bit unrealistic. Someone like Williams, he's realistic, because in a few years, he would have sort of got the money from Bilbao, maybe want to move. Someone like him would be perfect, but he may have already moved. So let's go and see what we can do. We've got a couple of players in mind. Midfielder, ideally Williams, or someone like him, and that can complete a front three that can, well, it would be crazy. Let's go and make it happen. Well, it's going to be Nick Pope's time up. Of course, he was a backup goalkeeper for us now anyway, but he is going to go to the Saudi League. Again, he's had a really good run at the club, but last season didn't play a single game. So why not move? I've got nothing against him. You know, he's done his thing for the club, was vital for us in the first 2 seasons. He now can still claim 71k a week, so you go and enjoy it. Signing 1 is going to be Thuram, coming in from Fulham, of course, former Juventus man, Nice man, and Monaco man. This is going to be a big signing because close to 50 million, as I mentioned, 7 goal contributions, a 7.18 average rating, all done within 21 appearances. Now, he just adds another option to midfield, okay? He is very well balanced, is what you get. You get very few pros to your cons, and he's a pre-made player, mainly brought in to progress me in the Champions League. This is this man. This guy I'm hoping can do it both in the Premier League and the Champions League. Nico Williams is going to come in for a total of £102 million. His release clause has been met by the mighty Black and Whites. 8 goals, 11 assists, a fantastic average rating, and a player that is just electric. Rodrigo, Sesko, Williams. The dream's been complete, especially when you factor in the last man on the window being Kenneth Taylor. Again, experience in the midfield to rotate with Tonali, Joelinton, Bruno, these sorts of players. We have got endless talent in that midfield now that all know how to win games. And for £70 million, I better get them stats time and time again, because there's a lot of money to spend. But we've got the money at Newcastle, and these are all players that are at clubs that would be tempted to take on such a project, because, I mean, we won the Premier League last year. This year's all about the Champions League. Let's try and make the dream happen. Well, this time we do get past the round of 16. It wasn't exactly flawless, though. We concede 3 to Lille, but we are going to win 6-3, which pushes us through to the quarter-finals, where we do beat Napoli 4-2. Again, not an easy game by any means, a very stressful game. The semi-finals, we are going to face Man City, and it gets even closer. 1 goal puts us through, and we are going to be playing Inter Milan in the Champions League final. What a moment. Then off to Amsterdam for a Champions League final against Inter Milan, and Williams gets off to a decent start there. He creates chaos is what he does. Rodrigo finally capitalises, makes it 1-0 inside of 32 minutes, and things were looking pretty strong. I mean, Taylor from set pieces having a great time, a great ball back stick. Botman is going to get the goal. Very nice to see an original Newcastle player get a goal there. Inter Milan do come up finally with something to say. Sotalo is going to make it 2-1 from a set piece, but on the big stage, the biggest stage of them all in Amsterdam, we are going to win the Champions League final 3-1 with a goal from Joelinton. Lovely stuff. Our first time in the Community Shield made up for a chaos-filled game with 6 goals, 3 for Arsenal, 3 for us, but we win on penalties. Finally get revenge on Arsenal in a cup final. As we are going to see a very unique Premier League. Now, it's not unique because we did win it, and that's probably what you'd expect, but again, Sesko up there with the goals. We've got Tonali up there with the assists. It's unique because we're seeing, I say, is that actually unique? United in 12th is not unique, is it? Liverpool in 10th is very unique. Man City only 1 point behind. West Ham make up 3rd place. Now, they're a team. They've got Gerhard Struber in charge. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. Not a bad team, to be honest, but hats off to them for getting the job done. Anyway, regardless of me saying that, but we are going to be Premier League winners, and that is now going to be back-to-back seasons. Off to London, off to Wembley against Brighton, a team that we should be beating now in the FA Cup final, and it is going to be former man Valentin Barco assisting Rodrigo to make it 1-0 in the 73rd minute. The game was really quiet up until that first goal, but when that first goal went in, it was chaos for Brighton. I mean, what are they doing? You do not give Sesko that chance. A great ball from Tonali as well. We're going to be leading 2-0, and it ends up with another goal coming in from Sesko. This guy loves the Premier League, but more importantly, he loves the cup final. He thrives in them. As we also blitz Chelsea 5-1 in the Carabao Cup, meaning we have won the perfect 5 sweep. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Community Shield in 4 seasons. Now, this was genuinely one of the funner rebuilds I've done recently, and it's one of the shorter ones. It's only 4 seasons. If you do enjoy the realism, please leave a comment on the next team you want to see rebuilt, because it does mean that you get a tactic with it as well, dedicated to realism around the team. We sign as realistic as possible players. We get the current realistic, obviously done deals in real life added to the team. But for those that want to carry on playing this save, I'd heavily recommend it by going over and grabbing that file, because you've been left with a powerhouse team here. I mean, every single player in here: Restes, Singo, Silva, Botman, Luca Bea, Bruno, Taylor, Tonali, Williams, Rodrigo, Sesko, Scalvini, Thuram, Jolinton, Livramento, Barco, Alanga, Willock, Barnes, Anthony. I mean, the team is ridiculous, and I mean, for fun, I've had a blast here. The front three is such a unique put together front three that are all performing very well. 35 from Williams, Rodrigo 36, you've got Sesko 39 and 3, Tonali 27, Luca Bea coming in there with 10 assists as well, playing at left back, which is very interesting to see. Money wise, you are going to have a total budget of 298 million, that practically 0 debt as well, and a tactic that is 100% realism around Eddie Howe, a system that fits in place with the players you have got. But for me, that is going to be Newcastle turned in to a 5-star reputation powerhouse team. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to come over by the streams as well. We are going to start doing some rebuilds live, and you can actually have influence on the chat. So you can come in and say, Josh, sign this guy, sign that guy. You could be in a video, you know, can do a bit of a community rebuild almost. I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.